Hi, good morning, everybody. This is Marilyn. Do we have any audio on this? Yes, no, maybe? Yes, thanks. Good morning, everybody. This is Marilyn, and welcome to my world, the morning edition it's almost 8:30 on the 10th of December. We're almost a third of the way through this month. So, lots of things happen in December. And So I'll just kind of take a minute to go over the overnight markets. It doesn't look like anything moved too much. The the first thing I notice is that the euro and the dollar have kind of changed course from the last couple of days. So I know there's a lot of people that trade the euro dollar pair, and there's some spreads and binaries and things in Nadex on that. The U.S. indices are all pretty flat for this morning. They're kind of in a little tight range. When you see on these 30-minute charts, when you see something like that, I don't know if you keep all of them up, but I do, just so I can see which one is the strongest one, and if anybody is behaving badly, then we'll know right away. But when they're all real flat like that, those of you who are interested in learning how to do those Nadex butterflies, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for a very flat market. And you can take advantage of no movement just as much as you can take advantage of some movement. We had a great trade in crude oil that I missed. I was fooling around with some other charts. But right here this morning on crude oil, these tall bars right here that come off of something, and right here was the high of the day. It had gone up to test that high of the day. There's a magnet, there's the open, is all right there. And when it puts in a real tall bar like that, that's a pretty darn nice trade headed south, with the idea that it would go at least to this deviation, which it has. It may fool around here a little bit and hit this deviation, but the magnet would have made a great take profit right there. Unfortunately, I was playing around with charts while I was doing that. I mean, when that thing showed up. If you are watching your sharpshooter, this is this also. I'm real happy with these swing dots up here, because you can just glance at these, and if you're waiting for something to break, it's real easy to spot those. You don't have to stay so glued right to one chart. But even on this, if you were waiting for this to break, and as soon as it broke, you had everything. You had a red apex, you had red candles, you had red bands, you had it break the previous uh, spot over here, and it was coming right off of an I zone. So stay with that right down to the magnet too. It's a good idea. Sitting through these is not so. That's why I keep different charts with different time frames and different indicators on them. There is no one thing that's going to be 100% every single solitary time, or even any time. But when you get several that give you a little bit different perspective, for me, it's a heck of a lot easier to see when it's more appealing to take a trade than uh, it's also easier to see when you need to stay the heck away and go find something else to do. Last night we had the VIX close almost at 20. All the bears are coming out of their bear caves because they're getting real excited about this VIX. It it closed at 1961 yesterday, so this is an indication that we may see some downside movement in the indices today. And we've got Brent put in exactly the same thing as our 30-minute crude oil candle in West Texas. We've got an E forming right here, so there may be some more downside to this. If this E picks up and we've got exceeding volume, then this, I would look to go down here to the next magnet, probably around 36.20. May not go down that far, but that would be a good possibility. You just have to pay attention. If you're trading this, you want to wait until it breaks this swing right here, and then heads on down. And the next stop on this, it hasn't painted yet, but I would be looking for the deviation or this magnet right here. So anyway, I kind of like the idea at this time of day because the low is right here coming off this A of if you're taking this south, to wait until it's you're 3 ticks below this, which would be what, 53, 36.53. Anyway, we've got one question in here. Issues with expected volume not showing on the chart. Chris, it takes a couple of minutes if you've updated your chart or changed an indicator. It takes a couple of minutes for that to populate, and it will only populate the current 4 minutes or 3 minutes or whatever it is, unless you have your indicator set to load 60 minutes or all historical volume. We strongly recommend that you do not have that load all historical volume on that, because it will take your chart forever to load. Go in and move that to 10 minutes. Make sure your historical volume is set to false. And there are several of these. When you change a chart or first bring it up, it takes a minute for it to populate. The ICE is one of them. The expected volume is another one. So keep posting these charts. These are really helpful. Everybody is, we're getting a lot of feedback that people are learning things a lot faster from marking these charts and putting them in here. I know it takes a few minutes and it cuts into your trading time a little bit, but the time is well spent if you get these rules and the trades solidly set in your mind in the beginning. Then you don't have to go back and straighten out, oh golly, I thought it was this other way, and so now I have to, change the way I think a little bit. Try to learn it the correct way from the beginning, and make yourself a cheat sheet. The trading police will never know if you have a cheat sheet. Just make yourself a little cheat sheet, put it by your mouse, and make darn sure before you take a trade that you're taking the trade according to what the rules are that you have put down there. And with more experience and more practice and more repetition, then that stuff will start to become automatic. And that's really what you want. You want to get it just to the point where it's automatic. But it takes a lot of persistence. We ought to add that to our P list also. It takes a lot of persistence to get these entries right. So take the time and be sure you do that. Anyway, This has been my view from my world. We've got, before I go, we've got unemployment claims right now. We just had them at 8:30. Didn't seem to do too much. I guess that's why I didn't even mention it. I'm not sure if that's unemployment claims or unemployment lies, but it's one or the other. And then nat gas. Some of you trade nat gas is coming up at 10:30 this morning. So, and uh, if you've got some idea you wanted to trade nat gas in futures, I would cancel that idea real fast and put that over to the Nadex side, because trading nat gas in futures is definitely not for the faint of heart. And most retail traders wouldn't even touch it. So I'll save you burning your fingers on that one. Anyway, this has been my view from my world in Apex land, brought to you by Apex Investing. I'll come back about noon and we'll see what the morning has brought us. Thanks.